Hey everyone, welcome back to the Widowed Parent Podcast Live. I'm here this afternoon with Nicole Rhodes of Annie's Hope. Nicole, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, this is great. It's so great to talk to people who are at different grief centers in all different locations. So tell us, where are you guys located?
Annie's Hope is located in St. Louis, Missouri. We're in St. Louis County, right outside the city.
Okay, terrific. So tell us what kind of programs you guys have.
Yeah, Annie's Hope has 10 different programs, 10 different core programs to help kids, teens, and their families who are grieving a death. A lot of people know us for our family support groups, which is an 8-week long program for kids and their families who are impacted by a death. We offer anticipatory grief support, camp programs, 2-week-long programs for kids ages 6 to 18, retreats, school-based programming, family social events, a lot of different things for
It
grieving
sounds
kids and
like
their
it.
families.
Yeah, it sounds like you got a lot going on. For people who maybe haven't heard the term anticipatory grief, can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, so our Horizons Anticipatory Grief Program helps families who are expecting a death. So for families who someone in the family or the friend group has been given a terminal diagnosis, such as different type of cancer, ALS, um, perhaps someone was involved in a serious car accident, that is anticipatory grief. A family is anticipating a death to happen, and so we support them in their homes or hospital before that death does happen.
Good. Okay, so important. And I think that something a lot of people maybe aren't aware that that's a thing maybe to consider and look for support on. So good. I'm glad you guys are doing that. And then the rest of your groups are primarily for post loss then, right?
Yeah, so the remainder of our programs are for families where the death has already occurred.
Okay. And are there certain types of death that like qualify people to be in your program or type of loss, who you lost or something?
No. So our programs are open to anybody who grieve a death. The main restrictions are that the child has to be age 3 or older, age 3 to 18 for families who have children under age 3. We support them on the phone about what to expect in regards to grief behaviors, how to explain really hard things. Um, there's no required cause of death or limit to that, and there's no like time frame either. So some families come to us 3 months after a death happens. Other families, it's 5 years. There's no
Mm,
restrictions.
right. Okay, terrific. Yeah, that's an interesting and important point because sometimes, somebody's not ready for something right away, or their grief is different, now and 5 years from now and down the road. So, good, good. Okay, and let's see, you said you have groups for kids, teenagers, parents. I'm sorry, can you remind us which groups you have?
Yeah, so our programs meet different needs. So, as an example, our camp programs, those support kids ages 6 to 18,
Okay,
whereas our family groups, we support kids as young as age 3.
okay,
Teen retreats, of course, those are just for teens.
gotcha.
It varies by program, but we typically have something for the whole family.
Okay, great. And is the camp only for people who are in your year-round program, or could people go independently to one or the other, both?
There's not a launch point for our program. So some families start in family support groups, develop a relationship with us before they send their child or children to a week of camp. Other families, camp is what they look forward to all year. And so they
Mhm.
start with that. There's not a start point at all for the program.
Okay, terrific. And how about any sort of cost for any of these programs?
All of our programs are offered at no cost to grieving kids and their families. We do encourage families to make a donation to their best of their ability. For some families, that's $1. For some families, that's the full financial value of a program. But no family is ever turned away. For some of our professional programs, like our comprehensive grief workshop or other trainings, we do charge a fee for professionals for that.
Mm,
Yet no child is ever turned away.
right, terrific. Okay, that's great. Let's see. Oh, so before, and as we speak now, we're still in the pandemic, and I assume maybe that's impacted your programming. But before the pandemic started impacting things, is this like an in-person? Is it a monthly, a weekly? How does the group kind of work?
Yeah, so our programs are typically in person. We host support groups at our building in our family support group program. For other programs, though, we go out into the community. So we meet families, like I mentioned, for the Anticipatory Grief program, Horizons. We meet them at hospitals, their homes, nursing homes. We are in about 40 schools a year doing school-based grief groups that are 6 week long. And then we also have our camps that take place at a campsite in southern Missouri.
Hmm. Okay, great. And then right now during the pandemic, do you have some virtual stuff going on as well, or what's up with that?
We do, yeah. So in March, just like everybody else, we shifted 100% to virtual programming. Our first program, our first major program that went online was our Camp Courage. So we hosted close to 50 kids for 5 days of virtual camp, and we learned a lot about what virtual support looks like, the ins and the outs of it. We're still getting better, no experts by any means. And then now our anticipatory grief program and our support groups are totally online.
Hmm.
We have a vision to resume in-person work in 2021, but we can only work with the information we have, day by day.
Yeah, yeah, we
Um,
might have to wait and see what's how things unfold. Okay, good. Well,
yeah,
yeah, sometimes I hear from listeners that they are assuming that maybe there isn't any grief support happening right now because of in-person stuff not happening. So it's good to know that you guys have some virtual options going on, and people shouldn't
absolutely.
shouldn't hesitate to call just because they think maybe the
Mhm.
pandemic is preventing any sort of support.
Right. And if virtual support isn't an option for a family, for a myriad of reasons, we're always here at the very least to talk on the phone and offer support in that way too.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. Yeah, great.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you for mentioning that. Let's zoom out from the logistical stuff for a second and just ask kind of more broadly, how do you think that participating in groups and programs like you have can be helpful to grieving kids or grieving families?
Yeah, I think most simply, I think it can help in that there's an awareness that other kids grieve just like you. Um, there's some kids who come to our camp, a full camp is 96 kids, and they get there and they look around and they're like, oh my gosh, that kid goes to my school. And
Huh.
they thought they're the only one in their entire school that knows what it's like to grieve the death of a dad or a mom. And so most simply, it's an awareness that they're not alone, that other people get what it's like. Um, Beyond that, Annie's Hope can help support grieving kids and parents, their caregivers, by giving space to process emotions, develop new coping skills, preserve memories. Um, those are just a few of the things that I think Annie's Hope and other grief centers around the country can offer
Mm-hmm.
bereaved kids.
Terrific. Good. Well, I hope that anybody who is watching this who is in the St. Louis area will check out your website and give you guys a call. Can you tell us where can people find you guys if they'd like more information?
Yes, the best place to learn more about Annie's Hope is our website. It's www.annieshope.org. We're also on Facebook. Our Facebook hashtag or handle is Annie's Hope STL.
Okay. Terrific. Well, Nicole, I almost called you Annie. Annie's
It
Hope.
happens.
Yeah, no, so everybody near St. Louis, please check out Annie's Hope. And Nicole, thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us, Jenny.